All right, hello. Today we're gonna be talking about our logo, our pitch presentation for the House of Panama. Thank you guys for joining us. Simple enough. My name is Uriel Velazquez. I'm currently a sophomore. My hometown is from East Palo California, back in the Bay Area. And yeah.
My name's Jovana Guzman. I'm a senior, and my hometown is San Fernando, California.
My name is Maria Ruiz. I am a junior and my hometown is Oxnard.
Yeah, so when creating this logo, we had different goals in mind to how can we represent Balboa Park and House of Panama in the best way possible. Firstly, starting off like making sure though both we respect and represent the organization correctly and its mission. This shows with two different things. To show the authentic Panamanian pride while still honoring the organization's presence in Balboa Park, and also symbolizing that we are welcoming to all people, regardless of what age, background, race, ethnicity, or anything. And also, we also want to target the correct audience, visitors and outsiders who just want to learn about Panama, making sure that we provide the great information and, as we said before, be as welcoming as possible. Um, we also want to highlight the vibrant culture, nature, and the pride that Panama has, and that stands out in today's day and age. Lastly, we also obviously want to win the competition, make sure our logo will be the best possible. And obviously, as we know, this is a class project. And like also be welcoming with our neighbors, Mexico, which is obviously has been a great help to Panama, as we've talked about with our interviews. Um, so yeah.
So, what did we learn? Since the three of us are a part of Panamanian culture, all three of us are Mexican. We wanted to make sure that we can fully integrate the Panamanian culture and San Diego's culture into the logo, and so you can connect people from all different parts of the community. So, as a group, we made three different points. So, we wanted to visualize what we can create from a culture that's different from our own and represent it in a respectful way that can be able to take different aspects and make sure that everything that is represented has a meaning, as well as having the different aspects of the Panama's culture and what they mean. Later on, once we show you guys our logo, it's gonna have like a in-depth kind of like going through of what each thing represents. Like I said, everything is there for a reason to display Panamanian culture, as well as having the different visuals and keeping it clean and professional to make sure that this logo can be used for numerous years and to be not just used in the House of Panama, but also things on like t-shirts, logos, or anything that revolves around it.
All right, so these were key points, um, important symbols that we considered were important, so we incorporated them into our logo. So number one was incorporating San Diego's local culture, which was the Balboa Park setting that reminds viewers that they are in a cultural landmark and signifies community. Number two is Panamanian history. So the colors, the flags, the stars that represent the 10 provinces, the eagle, and the escudo that embodies their journey to independence. Number three is the tropical foliage, which glo globally recognizes their both San Diego's landscape and Panama's tropical environment. Number four is El Canal de Panama. We, we felt not only because it's globally known, everyone identifies El Canal with Panama, but it is a crossroad of commerce and represents Panama's pivotal role in linking the oceans, the cultures, and economies. And lastly, we ended up adding a visual of soberanía because it is a symbol of struggle, unity, dignity, and national pride.
So when creating this logo, we obviously wanted to create a slogan for you guys. So after some careful consideration, obviously learning about the history and like what we wanted to show with the logo again, community, all that stuff. We came up with this following one. La Casa de Panamá, donde la tradición y cultura se encuentran con la comunidad. If you want to translate it to English, is the House of Panama, where the tradition and culture meets with the community. So again, we want to be that welcoming country, welcoming house to everybody, and be a symbol for the community in Balboa Park, and also show the tradition and culture that Panama, the rich tradition and culture that Panama has. So that's our slogan, and next we're gonna present finally our logo. So yeah.
Okay, so here is our logo. As you can see, different things show different meanings. So in the middle, we have the escudo, and then on the right, we have the Flor del Espíritu Santo. In the bottom, we have the orca, and then to the left, we have different raised fists with different skin tones. And like I said, later on, we're going to be dissecting each thing, each visual. And then we also have the California Tower and the Casco Viejo. So we can have both, same thing, San Diego and Panama represented. But the main thing in our logo, we wanted to make sure that we reflect the correct colors and have some really exciting visuals to make sure that we connect with everyone that connects with the logo. So what does this logo represent? We wanted to represent a lot of pride in Panamanian heritage and keeping the roots in San Diego, to make sure that we bring out more of what Panama is while still keeping it reflecting with California and San Diego, as well as blending the Latin American and the Californian identities to make sure that we have both aspects, which are really important to the logo, as we discussed earlier. And then we also wanted to celebrate the history, the progress, nature, and community. So as in our logo, we have a lot of like green and water and different colors, so we can make sure that nature is really shown. Since in our meeting we were talking about it and how we wanted to make sure that nature has like a big aspect in it, because Panama is full of green. And then we wanted it to finally like welcome change, innovation, and the cultural exchange. Like we said, there's going to be different people looking at this logo, not just people from California, and not just people that connect with Panamanian culture. There's going to be different people, age, gender, sexes, identities. They're going to look at this logo and be like, does this really does represent Panamanian culture and Californian culture into one.
All right, so lastly, these are the visuals that Jovana mentioned that we incorporated in our logo. So we'll start off dissecting el escudo de Panama and the canal. So the tools represent Panama's history of their struggle and labor, both in the making of the canal and the architecture. And then we have the sun and the moon, which represent the birth of the republic, so the Panama gaining their independence and their new beginnings. And then the horn of plenty represents the progress and transportation. The eagle on top, at the very top, it represents the soberanía and strength. And the 10 stars also above the eagle represent the 10 provinces of Panama that we felt were very important to incorporate into our logo. And the finally the canal, which represents the international connections. Then that one's in the middle. Then on the bottom left, we have raised fists, with different skin tones, which symbolizes, um, Panama's Afro-Caribbean, sorry, I can't, their Afro-Caribbean roots, their indigenous roots, and mestizo roots, as well as solidarity. In the bottom right, we have La Flor del Espíritu Santo, and this is Panama's national flower, and it represents purity and their national beauty. Then on the right, the top right building is the California Tower in Balboa Park. It is one of San Diego's most iconic historic landmarks. And on the other side of the logo on the left is it's the building called Casco Viejo in Panama. It is the historic heart of Panama City. Um, the church is called San Francisco de Asís. And lastly, the killer whale um, really reflects San Diego's oceanic culture and their marine biodiversity.
Cool. And then just to end it off, again, we want to first of all thank you guys for hearing our presentation. Now why we did this, because we want to differentiate the House of Panama from its neighbors, like we said, while also going to the roots, but both Panamanian culture and also the San Diego culture. And then also we want to include the balance of imagery that Panama to make it look vibrant, exciting, and important, especially for the visitor that's going to be visiting the house, and also, like I said, staying true to how to the mission that House of Panama has, which is the teaching, welcoming, and celebrating the cultural pride. So, with that, I want to net it off. Again, thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.